Oh, and it doesn't announce I'm recording because it already told you that. So anyway, I'm recording now. And for those of you watching the replay, welcome to the Larson Life Group Huddle. I've got a really exciting group of people I want you to meet this evening. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to get started as soon as I change this view setting to single page. All right, we're going to get started talking about you, yes, you can do this. So here's what I want to start out because this is going to be a little bit interactive. I want you to go to the comments and I want you to literally type this. I can do this. I want you to type that. Believing it's going to start by talking like it. Believing it's going to start like you don't talk about it, you're not going to be able to believe it. So I want you to start by just saying it. I can do this. I can do this. Now, can I tell you, I was, gosh, one of the things that fueled me when I was brand new, because I was in the workroom, I was on the calls, and I don't want to name names, but it's like I was looking around and there were people dumber and lazier than me that were winning. And that fueled me because, I'm going to be honest. If they could do this, I could do this. You can do this. And I want this call to be your fuel to learn and believe that you can actually do this. See, so often we see successful people and we assume they're different than us somehow. We assume they have something that we don't have, resources we don't have, or a network we don't have, or some ability we don't have. We just assume, we just naturally see these people like, whoa, it would be really cool to be them. Well, they were you once upon a time. There's nothing different between you and them. I want you to learn to see that. I want you to learn to see the similarities. I want you to learn to embrace the struggle they embraced. I want you to learn to be willing to make the sacrifices they were willing to make because that's the only difference between you and them. The only difference between you and them are the sacrifices they were willing to make, the amount of no's they were willing to hear. That's it. There's nothing magic. I'll tell you, for a guy and just being really transparent, um, I do a lot of self-reflection. And as I've been reflecting on my journey these last 3 years, and you guys know my story, I came here, I quit, I came back and hit the top of this company. So I've literally walked both of these roads. I look back at my life, and so many of the things that I endeavored to do, I did while they were easy and fun. I'm naturally pretty talented at stuff. And so a lot of stuff was easy and fun for me. And I got by. And I got by with easy and fun. I could play football in high school. I could make All-State. It was easy and fun. I didn't have to work hard for it. I got good grades. I didn't have to work hard for it. And then I came here and all of a sudden I had to work hard. I wasn't used to that and I quit. And it took life really humbling me. It took life bringing me to a breaking point where I didn't know how to provide for my family before I was willing to come back humble and coachable and be like, okay, even if it's not easy or fun, I got to learn grit. I got to learn how to stay in the discomfort. I got to learn how to do something I haven't done before because my natural thing was always just to stay as long as it was easy and fun. And that got me as, somewhere, but it didn't get me where I wanted to be. And so I had to learn, and that was the hope that I drew from this, was that when I looked at successful people here, I couldn't find a single unifying characteristic. My very first conference, I was only a few months in. I was probably 9 months into this business, 8, 9 months into this business. I went to my first conference. I was a nobody at this conference. I'm sitting in the back row. I'm looking at the people on stage, and you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing old people, and I'm seeing young people. I'm seeing black and white and every color person. I'm seeing people talking with accents and people talking like I'm not finding a unifying characteristic. And what that showed me was that this was system driven and not personality driven. It showed me that if you follow a system here, you can win. And it didn't matter what your background was, you could win. It didn't matter where you came from, you could win. It was just a skill set. You just had to learn it. That was it. No one was born winning here. Everybody learned how to win here. That's the point of this call. Every one of you joined a friend when you came here or responded to a job ad. Maybe you saw a social media post. Go ahead and put in the comments how you got here. Did you join a friend? Did you respond to a job ad? Maybe you saw a social media post. Maybe you were referred by someone. I want to read some of these. Social media post, Michelle, joined a friend, Amy, friend, Sarah, job ad, Amy, ad, Johnny, social media post, Amber, Facebook post, Jennifer, Trinity was following Jim, Warren, wifey referred me, Corinne, social media post, a friend, me, I fangirled and followed Jim Larson, a friend, social media from family, saw a post, then joined a friend, Irene responded to a job ad, recruited, Tamara, a lot of different ways. See, we all came here different ways. However you got here, if you came here from a job ad, you're not the only one. You came here because a friend told you this would be awesome. You're not the only one. You came here because you followed me on social media. You're not the only one. However you came here, someone else also came that exact same way. Maybe you came here with zero sales experience. Maybe you came here with sales experience but lacked insurance experience. Maybe you came here with both sales and insurance experience. Put in the comments what kind of experience you had coming in here between sales and insurance. Put a 1, 2, or 3. A 1 is zero sales experience or insurance experience. A 2 is sales but no insurance. And a 3 is sales and insurance. 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 2. Evan, crappy sales experience. Sales 1, 1, 1, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. See? Whatever experience you came here with, you're not alone. Someone else came here with that experience. Someone else had that same experience you did. Maybe you came from corporate America. Maybe you came from healthcare. Maybe you came from homemaking. Maybe from education. Maybe from MLM. Maybe from other sales ventures. Put in the comments where you came from. Javier already did that. He was an engineer. Javier was an engineer. MLM, stay-at-home mom, healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. A wine sales sommelier. I see you. Talk. 31 years deep in automotive, real estate, government job, municipality, insurance, corporate, teacher, construction, telecom, corporate America, title insurance, laid off and pregnant, project manager, corporate America, lawyer, MLM, corporate direct sales, banker, some sales experience, the back room, entrepreneur, durable medical equipment, education, recruiting firm, esthetician turned stay-at-home mom, insurance sales for veteran market. And no matter where you came from, someone else here came from there. See, I want you to see you're not alone here. No matter what experience you came with, no matter where you came from, there are people here that came from where you came from with the experience you had in the way you came. You came from a job ad, you're not alone. You came because you followed a friend, you're not alone. You came from other industries, you're not alone. Every one of us started here. Wide-eyed, drinking from a fire hose, knowing virtually nothing and no one unless we happened to follow a friend. But even if you didn't, and you knew no one, you're not alone in knowing no one. Maybe you've always had a boss. Maybe you've always been entrepreneurial. Maybe you have a history of failure. Maybe you're good at everything you do. Maybe you expect greatness. Maybe you're just hoping for a win. No matter what you're expecting or what your history, someone else in this room right now, in this agency, in this company, has your history, has your expectations, has your background. You are not alone here. You might feel anonymous. You might feel like you don't matter. You might feel like you're unseen. You might feel like you're a fly on the wall. You might feel like you're taking it all in. But you're not alone here. Everybody is one. There's someone that came from where you came from. And they just did some things. And I hope you're going to learn to do the same things that they did to get to where they won. See, every one of you from every background has felt like everyone else knows each other or knows this job and I'm on the outside. Put a 1 in the comments if you have ever in your journey felt like you're on the outside and somehow everyone else is on the inside of something that you're not on the inside of. So right now, if you're that person and you're new and you feel like I'm on the outside, I don't know these people, I don't know this system, I don't know this process, I want you to go look at the ones in these comments and I want you to feel like every single person in this meeting and in this room has felt exactly like that. Like they're on the outside, like they don't know. Everyone. If you're feeling that way, you're not alone. Everyone here has felt that way. I felt that way. Everyone's felt that way. You're not alone. It's up to you if you stay feeling that way. We work hard to create a culture that works together. In fact, I promise our culture is the reason we win here. But I want to introduce you to some people. I want to introduce you first to Johnny Yepez. Johnny joined September 23. He's been in this business about 4 months. He wrote his first application on October 3rd, helped some friends and family for a month, completely blanked December, didn't write a thing. And then so far in January, right now, he's written 6 apps for $14,000. He's only 4 months into this business. This was a text message I got. Tara is his mentor, Tara Owens. And so I am in this text thread with the two of them. And Tara texts me, Jim, when you surface from your incredible cruise, be warned, Johnny is having one hell of a week. John jumps in that with the text. He says this. He says, since Friday, this is just this past Friday, since Friday, 196 dials, 11 appointments set, 7 run, 5 applications, 13,500. He goes, what is happening? I respond, Johnny, what the heck? Are these leads? Is this warm? Is this a mix? Is it issued? Are you getting paid? He says 2 were warm. The rest were leads. Instant issue. Paid. Hard to argue with that, man. So I asked Johnny, I'm like, what are your lessons? And he says this. 1, consistency. I was inconsistent with my dialing. Once I committed to a number, however small it was, and just dialed that number, appointments came and sales followed. I want you to screenshot this. I want you to learn from Johnny here. He said association. Be accountable and run with someone you look up to and respect. Unfortunately, in the beginning, we feel accountable to other people and not ourselves, but work on that little by little every day. He says, personal growth, read Atomic Habits. It is the basis of my recent success. Small and seemingly insignificant changes make a huge difference. I asked him for 3 things. He threw in a bonus. He says, bonus, working part-time is okay. Part-time effort is not okay. Let your warm network know you're a professional problem solver. Your title is licensed life insurance broker. I'm going to stop sharing this. Johnny, can you unmute?
Yep.
What's up,
You
man?
hear me?
Yeah,
Hi,
we can
how
hear
are you?
you. Hey, I got several people to introduce, but tell us, and this is really just what I'd love to hear from you, is what have you learned so far that was different than what you expected when you came in? And I'm putting
Um,
you on the spot. I didn't prepare you for this question at
yeah.
all.
No, yeah, yeah. Well, it was hard at first. What I didn't expect is that it would be as hard as it is. And the reason why is because in the beginning, I thought the system was just one thing we can do. It wasn't, I didn't feel like it was what the only thing you had to do to succeed. So I kept looking for other ways of doing things and sort of adding and sort of trying to figure out if maybe some of it works and the other stuff doesn't. I'll try to figure it out on my own. And Once I had some little bit of success after that, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna follow exactly what it is. And I literally just said, I can't commit to $100 a day for some reason. I don't know why, but you know what? I'll do 20 to start with, $20 a day. Oh, but before that, I was actually working part-time in the beginning because I had my corporate job. But when I started really committing to those 20 dials and then 50 dials daily, no matter what, just no matter what. I mean, sometimes I would feel like I have other stuff to do and there's always other things to do. But once I committed to the 50 dials, and it's funny, it actually started Friday when I did that. And Friday, when I started committing to the 50 dials every single day, on Saturday, I wrote two apps then. Friday, obviously, one app. Monday, one app. Tuesday, one app. And then I got the rest of my appointments for the rest of the week. So I was writing an app daily just by doing the 50 dials, committing to the 50 dials, and not doing anything else but committing to that. So I thought it was going to be easier, but it was harder than I thought because I wasn't following the system. Once I follow the system that we say all the time, just commit to something, dialing and be consistent daily, then it just became, I hate to use the word, but it just became easier.
Yeah,
Uh,
heck
so,
yeah.
and I'm still figuring it out, but that's what I got so far.
Yeah, I love that. You've been in this for about 4 months.
Mhm.
Where'd you come from professionally?
So I was a commercial banker, and I did that for about 15 years. So I started in Chicago, moved to Texas, and live in Houston, and then I've been doing that here with the current company for about 6, 7 years. So my background is banker. I've had some sales experience, nothing like this, especially telephone sales. But I have had some of it, and it really is just a numbers game. I mean, I've read Fanatical Prospecting, and it really is just literally there's nothing that I have. There you go. Someone's pulling it up, Warren.
Yeah.
I have some experience, but the numbers, I think Jeb Blunt says the numbers trumps experience, the numbers trump everything. If you can just get consistent dialing and be fanatical about prospecting, it doesn't matter where you came from, the experience you have, or how shy you are.
What
So,
what brought you here in that whole from job ad to friend to social media? Like what brought you here?
I started looking at insurance as a viable side gig. So I said, okay, well, maybe I'll look into it and see. What really interested me was the fact that I can be an agency owner, and just looking at the videos and looking at people, I said, okay, well, I can be agency owner in, 6 months to a year, maybe a little bit over that, right? And own my own business and have that. So it attracted me a lot. It was actually
What attracted you?
look,
Like where did you first learn of symmetry?
I think it was a job ad.
Okay.
If I think it was Wendy Cox, actually.
Okay.
I spoke to her, to Wendy Cox, and then I learned about it through her, and then I saw it, and I said, and this was back in August, maybe August of last year. And mind you, I joined, I think, October or September. So it took me a good month to kind of figure it out and see what this is all about. And then I just started looking through the videos, learning, and I landed on one of your videos. I texted you and I'm saying, hey, Jim, I want to learn more about this. Uh, Tell me more.
And I'm like,
I think we
who is
spoke.
this random guy in a random text that I've never heard of? That's awesome.
Yeah, well, your page said text me, and I said, well, I guess it's okay if I text them. So I just
I
texted.
meant it, and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, so I just texted you and I said, "Hey, I have questions. Can we meet?" And then we met, and the what I liked, genuinely liked, is that you didn't sugarcoat it. You said this is a hard job. This is a difficult job if you're just looking for something easy. But it is a great opportunity, and it's something that you can really grow, and sort of branch out, become agency owner, and it is what you make of it, really. And if you're putting in the effort and doing and following the system, I think that it does pay dividends at the end.
I love that. One more question, Johnny, before we move to the next guest here. Julie wants to know what kind of leads are you working?
Everything right now. Right now, I have a standing lead order of CIB, and I go into opt. So when I call those in the morning, and then if, for example, if I don't hear from them, if I don't have any contact, I just go into opt in the morning and then just load myself with MIB and MIC leads. So it's a mix of those, CIB, MIB, and MIC. I will be honest though, half of my production has been warm market.
Yep.
And the reason why is because before I did this as a banker, people think since you're a banker that you know everything in finance. And so I would get a lot of people just asking me like how to get out of debt and budgeting and all that stuff. And I know all that. So naturally our conversations with my warm market was, hey, I'm doing insurance. I solve people's problems, and then they would laugh. I'm a professional problem solver. They would laugh. And then I would say, no, but my title is insurance broker. So I'm actually a broker and I work with different insurance companies. And every single one of them were like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I actually have thought about that. And then that's where the conversation starts. So just by having that conversation with my warm market, half my production has been from that. And then the other half, obviously, working the leads. And to be honest, it's not until I really started to work the leads that those were actually paying. And those are, I would say, a lot better because those are all instant issue. A lot of my warm market has been, unfortunately, takes, weeks for it to pay because they've been more
Advanced market concepts.
advanced market stuff and
Mhm.
everything. So yeah, so I actually really like the leads and I like getting paid quickly.
Yep. I'll tell you, I'm not at all shy about the fact that my warm market, I like to say, funded my learning curve. It took me a while to get profitable on leads, and I was similar to you, and I didn't have a financial background at all, but I just felt like my friends and family liked me, and if they happened to be in the market for life insurance, wouldn't they rather get it from someone they liked and trusted? So I went to everyone I knew and reintroduced myself as a life insurance broker, and if they happened to be in the market, I'd love to help them. Cool. Hey, Johnny, thank you. Appreciate it. Love learning from you. I love learning from people that are getting through the learning curve. It's so good. All right, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, and I want you guys to meet Trinity Ables. Trinity, I love this. She joined June 6th of 2023, wrote her first application June 21st, so just a couple weeks later, and then she disappeared without a trace for 6 months. I didn't know if she fell in a hole, if she got abducted by aliens. I didn't know where she went. She was just completely gone off the face of the planet. Expected she'd never come back. But then she came back about 6, 7 months later. In the 6 month period from February of July, she wrote 51 applications for 55,000 in premium. In the last 6 months from August to January right now, 39 applications for 69,000 in premium. And right now in January, she's written 4 apps for 7,700. So I asked her what her lessons were. Screenshot these guys. This is gold. You're learning from people doing it. She said the workroom. Get in the workroom. She goes, listen and learn. It's like having free college. Everything I learned in the beginning came from workroom calls. She says, buy leads early and plentiful. Start with the cheaper ones to sharpen skills. Warm market peters out fast. I learned that. Johnny's probably going to learn that. No matter how big your network, you're going to hit a point where you kind of just helped everybody. And now, even for me, like they trickle in. Invest, it will pay off. Otherwise, you're in a car with no gas and leads are fuel. She says belief. Belief comes from connecting to team calls, hearing others' stories of perseverance. This works, but you've got to claim it and work toward it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Trinity, are you here to unmute and chat with us?
I'm here.
Trinity, where did you go for 6 months? You disappeared.
Well, I would check in with you every now and then
You
and
did.
say,
I
you
actually
know,
I actually did know where you were. It was just way more funnier for me in the moment to pretend like you were gone.
it was really hard. I was not prepared for it to be, um, I've had so much success in direct sales that I thought I would come here and just blow it up. And when that did not happen, it really knocked me for a loop. And finally, last November, I reached out to you and said, okay, I've tried it my way. need to do it Jim's way. And I listened to every single thing he said to do. And in January, I started buying my first leads and it slowly took off. But it really is trust the system. Quit trying to reinvent the wheel. Trust the system that's already in place.
I'll tell you, so many people are guilty. I've been guilty of that. In fact, go put a one in the comments if you're guilty of trying to find an easy button, trying to find an easier way to do things than we're telling you to do things. Yeah, it's gonna be if you're honest, you're putting a one in there for sure. Trinity, tell me this. Similar question to what I asked Johnny. It's one of my favorite questions to ask these days. Um, how is your reality, like your reality now? You're a phenomenal producer. I just look, I actually, my mind was blown. I hadn't seen your numbers like that, like right in front of my face. I'm like, oh, she's easily one of the top producers in this entire agency in this last year. Um, Now that you're in a groove, walk me through how reality is different than what you expected this to be.
The reality is you have to sit and work. It is not something with my MLM business, I'm able to be on the go with the phone out, out and about. But if I really want to have a good week, I have to be locked in. I have to have my leads. I have to have my script, my listening ears. So that commitment was hard for me because I was so used to not having to, sit and focus and concentrate and do all that. And so that was probably the hardest for me is, this is a real job. You have to sit and you have to respect it. And I have my best weeks when I am tuned in. Weeks where I'm not producing or I'm not seeing the same numbers, it's where I've not been able to come into my office, sit down, and really work.
Yeah, I respect and appreciate the heck out of that. What leads are you working? You've been working some of these like cheaper leads. Like you've hung out in that arena. You like that arena.
I love the 50-cent leads. I'm sad that I don't see them as much as I used to because I will buy the heck out of some 50-cent leads. My budget, I'm a single mom going through a terrible divorce. You know, the budget has been the hardest part for me. I'm trying to budget this um, and make it work. So the 50-cent leads, I just had to have faith in myself that at one point this was an A lead. This 50-cent lead at one point was an A lead, and I'm going to treat it like it's an A lead. And even when I print off my leads now, I never mark on there was it an A lead, B lead. I still I treat them all the same. So treat your leads the same. Don't get discouraged. If you're like in a budget crunch and you're having to just buy what's available, I have sold more 50-cent leads than I've ever sold MIB call-in leads. I love the older ones.
Yeah, it's such a good. Gina Pearson has done a real good job at training that too. Just people are people. These are just people that need our help. Treat them like people that need help and get really curious to help uncover that. When I first came here, I mean, similar to you, I was broke. I had 6 months of money in my savings and no backup plan. So like it was just straight up like every single thing was coming out of savings if I wasn't selling. And like we were so scared of losing literally everything. And when at that time, I had all the time in the world, I didn't have money. So I was just like you. I'm like, get me as many cheap leads as I can because those are chances and those are opportunities. And I just need lots of opportunities for not much money. And then as I got better, I was growing a team. I got to a place where I started having money, but now my time was really pressured. I'm onboarding a lot of new agents. So it's like I went from like I got all the time in the world but no money to now I've got money but no time. That's when I made the transition over to A leads to kind of buy back some of my time and convert things faster that took less dial time. But I was right with you, man. I mean, if it was going to be hours on the phone and cheap leads, I was going to go hunt those and I was going to go get mine. I like it. It's good. Um, Thank you, Trinity. It's been really fun, just personally. It's been really fun working with you, watching you go through the I'm here, I'm gone, I'm back, because I feel like I lived that. I get it. When people go away, they disappear for a bit. I get it. What do you think it was for you that put you in a position to finally like plant your flag and be like, no, you know what? I am here.
I would still listen in on the Wednesday calls, and I kept watching I was making almost 25,000 a month with my direct sales gig for 3 or 4 years, and then I'm watching that income drop and drop, and I'm losing benefits that I thought would never end. And I'm like, okay, I've got to do something quick. This ship is sinking. And it was something you said on one of the Wednesday night calls, and it just hit me in my gut. And that entire night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I said, I've got something in front of me. It's right here. It's tangible. I can grab this, but I have to do the work to make it happen. And none of these people are any different than I am. I'm choosing not to be successful. And I've got to flip that switch and choose to get dirty and learn and suck at this and be horrible, but be in the game because I was a spectator and I was ready to get in the game. So keep telling your story. It resonates with so many of us, but I literally had to make a choice. I've got this in front of me. What am I going to do with it? And I'm so glad I did because I have hope. Still not nowhere near where I want to be. I want this eventually to be my complete full-time gig, and it will be. And I'm claiming that success. Thank you, Jim. You've been so good to me. You've always been there for me.
I love it. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen here. Oh gosh, I missed this other one. But her belief kept going. Belief comes from connecting to team calls, hearing other stories of perseverance. This works, but you have to claim it and work towards it. I've never seen anyone here not make it who is showing up and working. Check in with your mentor. I would have quit if not for Jim. Evan Brown, not necessarily new. He joined November of 23, so he's been here just over a year. In the last 6 months, my man's written 68 applications for 76,000 in premium, and we were on the phone. I think it was just yesterday. And he goes, this is a direct quote. He goes, dude, I made $4,000 last week, and 6 months ago that would have blown my mind, and now that's just normal. Go ahead, put a 2 in the comments for me if you want $4,000 weeks to be normal. Normal. Come on, Evan. All right, let's hear what Evan tells us. Screenshot this, guys. I'm introducing you to people winning right here. He says, expectations. Go into the call with no expectations. You're not trying to sell them anything. Your job is to figure out if they need insurance and then what the solution is. He says, be realistic. When you're running quotes, understand as an example that a 75-year-old will not want to pay the premium for a $250,000 policy. It is way too expensive. You're gonna get the 75-year-olds that say they want a $250,000 policy till they see the price. They ain't gonna want it after that. Be realistic. Help them. Help them learn the market. He says, do more. Other than practicing how to run an appointment, your biggest thing in the beginning is massive activity. Massive activity. Again, I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to ask Evan to unmute. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, dude?
$4,000 last week. And 6 months ago, a year ago, if I told you, dude, $4,000 weeks are going to be normal for you, what would you have told me?
I wouldn't have believed you. I've always known that I will be successful because I've always been willing to do the hard work, whatever it takes. But if you would have told me 6 months ago that in 6 months I would be at this place, I'd be like, nah, shut up.
Yeah.
Stop messing with me.
Yeah, that's good, man. What do you think changed as far as, I don't know, what do you think changed in the last year? Like what did you learn that the light bulb came on? Or even explain this to me. Because I've got a theory and I've heard people have different experiences. Some people talk about a light bulb going on where they just get it. My experience wasn't that. My experience was more like watching your kids grow up, where like I was getting better and better little by little, but I didn't notice it until I like looked back 6 months later. I'm like, oh, I'm much better than I used to be, but it didn't happen like overnight. There wasn't a thing. Walk me through what your learning curve was like.
It sucked. My first 6 months here, I made like an average of, I mean, I'm looking at my board right now. I have it all on a whiteboard behind my desk. I made like my highest month for the first 6 months was $3,000 in a whole month. And that's before lead costs.
Yeah,
So
what was lead cost then?
Maybe like 300 or 400 a week. So I was like
So you were
really,
still profitable, but you weren't like making a living.
I was making my car payment. That's about
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it.
for a lot
So
of hours.
yeah, seriously. I was the most uncoachable. I don't know if that's a word, but I was the most uncoachable person in the world. So seriously, like whenever Jim would say something to me, like I took it in and I respect him and I've known him for longer than I've been at Symmetry, but it would go in one ear and out the other. And I was like, dude, I know what I'm doing. Like, I love you, thank you, but I
What
didn't.
what can what can this old guy teach me?
Exactly, exactly. And whatever anybody would tell me, just in one ear, out the other, I'm like, I've been on the phones before. Like, this is super easy. What do you mean? My plan when I first started was to make 15K in my first month. Yeah, absolutely not. No. But anyway, I was really uncoachable. And honestly, that realization, it wasn't so much a light bulb, but over time, it took a few months after I realized that I was uncoachable for me to be like, hey, like, need to stop being a B word. Don't know if I should say that on recording, but anyway, stop being a B word. Like just listen, just listen. That's it. And staying consistent because I would change the leads that I'm working every week. I would change every single week. I'd be like, I want to work A leads. I want to work Lighthouse. I want to work Razor Ridge. I want to whatever, whatever, and just kept changing. I never used the same script. I never said the same thing to different people, different leads. Just no consistency whatsoever. I would just do whatever off the top of my head. Didn't work out.
There are two things, I watched you, I had a front row seat to watching you go through your learning curve, and there are two things you did that number one impressed the heck out of me, but number two, I think were really, really crucial. One of those were you fully embraced role play. You fully embraced practicing your scripts. You fully embraced practicing running appointments with other agents. Like fully embraced that, getting on the phone, getting on Zooms with people, going through that over and over and over again. And then the second thing I watched you embrace is truly massive action. Like we are halfway through January, you're at 1,500 dials on the month already this month. Like I need people to hear that. Evan is at 1,500 outgoing calls so far this month. So a lot of people will make 50, especially new ones, they're going to make 50 to 100 dials in a week, feel like they're working, overthinking a lot. And Evan's like, crush the phones. Can you talk to us about role play practice and massive action?
Um, with role play, a lot of it, you're probably going to sound like a robot on the phone just reading a script. Number one, you need to memorize it. That's the first thing before you even role play. You need to sit down and read it. If you have to wake up in the morning and read it at lunchtime and read it before you go to bed, you need to do it. Memorize it. Number one. Number two, you need to have a role play partner that is better than you, that absolutely crushes you in every way. They are outperforming you every single week. You need to have somebody that you go to and say, hey, I'm coming to you humbly. Please help me out. Role play with me. What are you doing? Help me out. And they here, before I came here, I would have said, nah, they probably won't help you. But now that I'm here, the people here will help you, even if they never make a dollar off you ever. It is amazing. Um, So, number one, memorize. Number two, practice with someone who's better than you because tonality is one of the biggest things. I could memorize a whole script, and if I never practice any tonality, I'm just going to sound like this the whole way through. Hey, Miss Janet, do you have any other insurance? Do you have any other life insurance? Like, I'm just going to sound like a robot and flat the whole time. You don't want to sound like that. Um, and number two, massive action. So massive action is super, super easy once you get used to it. At first, if you saw me make $25 in a day, you were a lucky, lucky person because I never did. Because I was like, yeah, I'll make 30 calls a day and I'll sell a couple policies, whatever. Um, and I'm still not that way. But Massive action is just not at the start, it's just not overthinking it because you're sitting there, right? You're on your phone. Let's say you're hand dialing, which is what I do. I literally have all my calls hand dialing. Still to this day, 1,600 dials in 2 weeks, hand dialing completely. Um, so anyway, don't take too many breaks. If you have to sit down for an hour and dial, you can get 100 dials out of there if you're working B leads. There's no excuse not to. And the reason you're not is because you're thinking too much in between calls. What I used to do, if I didn't know somebody's name, I would look up how to pronounce it and then do all that, do all that. You don't have to do that. Don't think too much in between dials. That takes up a lot of freaking time. Um, and then another thing is don't focus on how many dials you're doing. Just call who you need to call. Because if you focus on how many dials you're making, it's going to feel like a drag the whole time. So just don't focus on it. Don't worry about it. Say, okay, I'm going to call these 25 leads today. I'm going to triple dial every one of them. Don't think about it until you're done and then count up your dials. I don't count up my dials until the end of the day, ever. And again, not taking the biggest thing is not taking too much time in between the next dial. If you triple dial a B lead and they don't answer, go right on to the next one. Type in that phone number in your phone if you're hand dialing and just keep going, keep hammering. Otherwise, it's going to feel like
The other thing you don't do is when you set an appointment, you don't stop dialing and start preparing for that appointment.
yes.
You
yes.
just set that, you got an appointment, cool, and you go right back to dialing.
Exactly. 100%. I don't care how many appointments I set. If they're for later today, I'm still not running quotes. Like worst come to worst, I'll run the quote on the appointment when we get to it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not stressed about it. I'm just going to take them to where I think is best. Or where I'm just going to try and see if it goes. Now I have it memorized to where I know where to take people. But at first I was just like, whatever, just wait. And it worked out. It worked out well.
What leads are you working right now?
Lighthouse mortgage protection.
Okay.
Yep. Highly responsive. I only worked B leads up until October, I think, and I was doing pretty good. I was doing 20K months. But I just wanted a higher intent lead. I wanted to call somebody and say like, hey, I was at the point of skill level where I was like, I just want to call somebody and they say they remember filling it out. That's
and
it.
You're their first introduction and first contact point. Yep.
Yes. And a lot of people think I'm super cool because I work with all these companies when I tell them that, and it's such a good feeling. But yeah, if you even if you set an appointment for an hour out, don't worry about running the quote unless you really don't know. Wait, just wait. Keep dialing. Keep going.
Yep, I love it. Evan, thank you so much. Julie's going to remind us in the comments, you still get yelled at with lighthouse leads. That's true. You're never going to get away from that in phone sales. It's just phone sales, guys. It's phone sales. There's grumpy people on the other ends of phones. Do this for me. Put a 2, or I think we're up to 3. Put a 3 in the comments if this was helpful. This call. Yeah, good. It's going to be up on YouTube tomorrow. Do me this favor, put a 4 in the comments if you're walking away feeling like if they can do it, I can do it. See, I wanted to introduce you to people that are just like you, that came to this just like you, that had a hard learning curve just like you, that just decided to do this. They decided to win, and here's exactly how they're winning. We're going to end this call exactly the way we started it. In the comments, I want you to tell us, I can do this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Every single one of you can do this. Every one of you. I'm here for every bit of it. Can't wait to watch you guys win. It's my favorite thing. All right. We're 1 minute over. Not bad. I appreciate every single one of you. Guys, I'm not just a guy on Zoom. Every one of you should have my number. Call me, text me. I am here. I am part of your journey. I am here to help you win. I don't want you ever thinking that I'm some distant guy that jumps in on a Zoom every now and again, or you see me on a video. I'm involved. Irene knows that. Me and Irene talked. because she put her hand up and she said, hey, I need help. I was on the phone with Warren, just yesterday, Warren? Warren put his hand up. Warren's like, hey, I need help. Tanner today was like, hey, can we talk? Yeah, absolutely. Julie, you and I just earlier today sat on a Zoom because Julie put her hand up. She said, hey, can we talk? Yes, the answer's yes. Jill, yeah, Jill, we talked. It's great. I'm here for it, guys. I'm here for every bit of it. You are not alone. I want you walking away from here knowing you are not alone, knowing that we are all here together, knowing as alienated as you feel, someone else has felt that way too that's winning now. No matter where you came from, someone else that's winning now came from there. It's your journey. Let's go walk it out. We just get to walk it out together. Have a good night, guys.